Downward spiral. Damaged, intoxicated, Hannah escapes the clutches of the Black Stone, but they know he is nearby. I woke with a burning head and the sun glaring in my face. For a long time I lay motionless, for those horrible fumes seemed to have loosened my joints and dulled my brain. There was a little gap in the parapet to which I wriggled and from which I had some sort of prospect of the yard. So figures come out, a servant with his head bound up, and then a younger man in knickerbockers. Saw the rotund figure of my late captor, and I thought I made out the man with the lisp. I noticed that all had pistols. They were looking for something, and moved towards the mill. Well, I wonder who they can be looking for, huh? For half an hour they ransacked the mill. Then came outside and stood just below the dovecot, arguing fiercely. I heard them fiddling with the door of the dovecot, and for one horrid moment I fancied they were coming up. And they thought better of it. Oh my god. And they thought better of it and went back to the house. All that long blistering afternoon I lay baking on the rooftop. First was my chief torment. My tongue was like a stick. I watched the course of the little stream as it came in from the moor. I would have given £1,000 to plunge my face into that. I saw the car speed away with 2 occupants and a man on a hill pony riding east. I wished them joy of their quest. If that airplane came back, the chances were 10 to 1 that I would be discovered. Through the afternoon, I lay and prayed for the coming of darkness. My shoulder was in a bad way. At first, I thought it was only a bruise, but it seemed to be swelling. I had no use of my left arm. I had a crushing headache, and I felt as sick as a cat. Those lentonite fumes had fairly poisoned me. The baking hours of the dovecot hadn't helped matters. I had neither coat, waistcoat collar, nor hat. My trousers were badly torn, and my face and hands were black with the explosion. I dare say I had other beauties, for my eyes felt as if they were furiously bloodshot. It seemed to me that the sooner I got in touch with the Foreign Office man, Sir Walter Bullivant, the better. He must just take or leave my story, and anyway, with him I would be in better hands than those devilish Germans. I had begun to feel quite kindly towards the British police. My plan was to seek Mr. Turnbull's cottage, recover my garments, and especially Scudder's notebook. Then make for the main line and get back to the south. Thank God it was a black night. But first, it was too great to allow me to tarry, so about 9 o'clock, so far as I could judge, I started to descend. Halfway down, I heard the back door of the house open. I saw the gleam of a lantern against the middle wall. For some agonizing minutes, I hung by the ivy and prayed that whoever it was would not come around by the dough cuts. Then the light disappeared and I dropped as softly as I could onto the hard soil of the yard. I crawled on my belly in the lee of the stone dike till I reached the fringe of trees which surrounded the house. I was in a pretty bad way. Ten minutes later, my face was in the spring and I was soaking down pints of the blessed water. But I did not stop till I had put half a dozen miles between me and that accursed dwelling. I sat down and took stock of my position. The Harris map had given me the lie of the land. All I had to do was to steer a point or two west of southwest to come to the stream where I had met the roadman. I calculated I must be about 18 miles distant. That meant I could not get there before morning. Very soon after daybreak, I made an attempt to clean myself in a hill burn. Then approached the herd's cottage, where I was feeling the need of food.
What in the name of... What's happened to you?
Forgive me. I've taken a pretty bad fall.
Come in. Come in.
The herd's wife? She was a decent old body, and a plucky one, though she got a fright when she saw me. She had an axe handy, and would have used it on any evildoer. I don't know what she took me for. A repentant burglar, perhaps. Like a true Samaritan, she asked no questions, but gave me a bowl of milk with a dash of whiskey in it. Let me sit for a little by her kitchen fire. It would have bathed my shoulder, but it ached so badly that I would not let her touch it. Milk with a bit of whiskey in it. That sounds like a really weird mix. She showed me how to wrap the plate around my shoulders, and when I left the cottage, I was the living image of the kind of Scotsman you see in the illustrations to Burns' poems.
Please, take this as payment for your hospitality.
No. Keep your siller. No. Give it to them that he erect it.
Scottish cream, maybe.
Insist. Tak my plaid and this old hat that belonged to my man.
pass over the miseries of that night among the wet hills. Twice I lost my way, and I had some nasty falls into peat bogs. Had only about 10 miles to go as the crow flies, but my mistakes made it nearly 20. The last bit was completed with set teeth and a very light and dizzy head. But I managed it. In the early dawn, I was knocking at Mr. Turnbull's door.
Where are ye that comes stravaiging here in the Sabbath morning?
My head was swimming so wildly that I could not frame or a coherent answer, but he recognized me.
Ah. Aye, have you got my specs?
I fetched them out of my trousers pocket.
You'll have come for your jacket and waistcoat. Come on by. Losh, man, you're terrible down to the legs. Hold up till I get you to a chair.
Yeah, but you like whiskey with milk though, mixed up. I had a good deal of fever in my bones, and the wet night had brought it out, while my shoulder and the effects of the fumes combined to make me feel pretty bad. I perceived I was in for a bout of malaria. Before I knew, Mr. Turnbull was helping me off with my clothes and putting me into bed in one of the two cupboards that line the kitchen walls. He was a true friend in need, that old roadman.